Have you ever felt like you're running in circles in your own mind? Like every time you try to change something in your life, you end up back in the same emotional place, repeating the same decisions, the same reactions, the same fears. You set a goal, you feel motivated, you even start taking action, but then something happens, something always happens. A thought, a distraction, a wave of anxiety, a familiar self-doubt creeps in, and before you even realize it, you're right back where you started. Stuck. Again. Maybe you even say to yourself, "Why do I always do this?" That's the loop. Not just a mental loop, not just a bad habit, something much deeper. A quantum loop. An energetic pattern built from repetition that doesn't just affect what you do, it affects who you are, how you see the world, and what you attract into your life. And unless you understand how this works, you might spend your whole life trying to break free from a trap you can even see. Most people live their lives unaware that they're moving through these loops. They think their struggles are random, their setbacks just bad luck or a lack of discipline. But what if I told you that the real reason you're stuck isn't because you are weak? It's because you reprogrammed. Not in a robotic way, but in a neurological, emotional, energetic way. Your mind, your emotions, your nervous system, they're all wired to repeat what feels familiar, not what feels good. That means even if your soul wants expansion, healing, transformation, your subconscious mind will pull you back into safety, into old patterns, into what it knows. And over time, those patterns become loops, loops that feel like your personality, your truth, your fate. But they're not. They're just energetic grooves you've fallen into, and the moment you see them, you can choose something else. Let's go deeper. Think of your brain like a quantum computer. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every choice you make sends out a signal. That signal becomes your frequency. And quantum physics teaches us that frequency determines form. In other words, the vibration you emit is shaping the reality you experience. So if you're thinking the same anxious thoughts, feeling the same fear, making the same avoidant choices, you're broadcasting a repetitive signal into the field. That signal doesn't just attract similar experiences back to you. It literally collapses your potential into one narrow timeline, the same one, over and over. The more you reinforce the loop, the harder it is to see any other way of living. You could have 10 doors open in front of you, but the loop will make you believe there's only one. And that one always leads back to what's familiar. Let's say you've always struggled with procrastination. You avoid hard things, even when you care deeply about them. You want to change, but somehow every time you commit, life gets in the way. You feel overwhelmed, your energy crashes, you distract yourself, and then comes the guilt, the self-blame, the disappointment. That emotional cocktail is the fuel for the loop. Your nervous system begins to associate goals with pain, with pressure, with failure. So even when you start strong, your subconscious remembers, this hurts. And it pulls you back. Not because it hates you, but because it's trying to protect you. The loop isn't the enemy, it is the body's way of surviving an emotional memory. But here's the problem. Survival is not the same as creation. And if you're always stuck in survival loops, you never get to step into your true creative power. Maybe your loop isn't about productivity. Maybe it's emotional. Maybe you keep attracting people who abandon you, disrespect you, or make you feel invisible. You think it's just your luck, or that all people are like this. But the truth is, you may be vibrating at a frequency of unworthiness that was wired into you through past experiences, abandonment, neglect, emotional trauma. You didn't choose those things, but the energy they left behind became a pattern, and that pattern became a loop. Even when someone kind shows up, part of you might sabotage it, question it, or not believe you deserve it. That's how powerful these loops are. They don't just keep you repeating behaviors, they filter your perception. They shape what you believe is possible for you. They dim your light until you forget how bright you really are. Here is the wild part. Most of these loops were created before you even had a choice. They started when you were a child, when your brain was still forming, when you absorbed everything like a sponge. If you felt unsafe, unseen, or unloved, you internalized those experiences not as events, but as truths. And now, those truths echo through your adult life in subtle, powerful ways. Your loop might say, I have to do everything perfectly or I won't be loved. Or, if I rest, I'm lazy. Or, I don't deserve to ask for what I need. These aren't just thoughts. They're energetic imprints. And because the universe responds to energy, it keeps sending you proof that those beliefs are real, unless you interrupt the signal. So how do you escape? How do you break the loop when it feels so real, so automatic, so deeply embedded? The first step is awareness. You have to see the loop before you can shift it. That means paying attention to your emotional patterns. What triggers you? What situations make you feel small, reactive, or defeated? Instead of judging yourself, observe, trace it back. Ask yourself, when did I first feel this way? What belief is this loop trying to keep alive? And then get curious. What would happen if I didn't respond the way I always do? What if I sat with the discomfort just for a moment without numbing it? That gap, that space of awareness, is where your power lives. It's the space between stimulus and response, and in that space everything can change. Next comes energy disruption. Loops live in the body, not just the mind. You can't outthink a pattern that was built through emotion. So you have to move the energy. When the loop activates, shift your state. Breathe deeply, play music, dance, walk, shake, scream into a pillow. Do something your old self wouldn't do. Break the rhythm. Your nervous system needs to feel a new outcome. When you do this consistently, you start reprogramming the emotional memory. Your body starts to associate challenge with movement, with freedom, not shutdown. And every time you make a different choice in the face of the old loop, you carve a new path. One choice rewires the brain. One new emotion rewrites the signal. But here's the most important part. You have to embody the version of you that doesn't live in that loop. That means asking, who am I when I'm free? What does that version of me think, feel, speak, and do? Don't just wait for your reality to change. Become the change first. Speak differently. Set new boundaries. Act even when you're scared. Choose rest without guilt. Open your heart again, even when it's easier to shut down. This is quantum alignment. When your internal frequency shifts, the external world must follow. That's not just a theory, it's how energy works. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And when you become someone new, reality bends to meet you. There will be resistance. The loop will fight to stay alive. It will whisper lies. This is who you are. You always fail. No one cares. Change is too hard. Don't fight it. Witness it. Smile at it. Say, I see you, but I'm choosing something new. And keep choosing, over and over, because that's how loops lose their power. Not in one big moment, but through daily defiance. Micro shifts, conscious decisions, repetition in the direction of freedom. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present, showing up, interrupting the pattern, again and again, until the new you becomes the default. Eventually, something incredible happens. The loop fades, not all at once, but gradually. You start noticing you're reacting differently. You're calmer, clearer, more in control. Things that used to trigger you don't. Opportunities show up. You feel guided. People respond to you with more respect. You have more energy, more time, more joy. Why? Because you are no longer spending all your mental bandwidth fighting a loop that never belonged to you. You're not just surviving, you're creating. And creation is your natural state. So if you've been stuck, if you've been repeating the same lessons, the same pain, the same disappointments, know this. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility now. You have the power to end the cycle, to rewrite the code, to collapse the timeline you've been trapped in and choose a higher one. You are not broken. You are not behind. You're just waking up. And that awakening is the beginning of everything. Right now, in this very moment, you can make a decision. You can pause the loop, take a breath, name it, shift your state, and ask, who do I want to be right now? Not tomorrow, not when things get better, now, because now is all you have. And in the now, you are free. If this message resonated with you, if you felt like this quantum loop described exactly what you've been living, then this is your moment to take back control of your journey. You're not alone. Thousands of people are waking up to this awareness, realizing they are not prisoners of their thoughts or emotions. You're part of that shift. And if you want to keep diving deeper into this process, freeing your mind and activating your true creative frequency, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Your healing inspires other healings. Your transformation is the beginning of a new timeline. Higher, more aligned, and more powerful than you ever imagined. The time is now. Let's do this together.